Hello everyone, welcome to your next section and chapter. In this chapter we're going to spend all of our time learning how to graph and visualize in Python using a package called Matplotlib. This is going to extend on your knowledge from your last chapter because a lot of the times after we have our data in memory as a data frame, one of the first things we absolutely must do is look at our data. We showed a little bit of that with head and tail to kind of get descriptive statistics on what is going on within the data frame itself. But after you've looked at that a little bit, really the next thing you should do before any kind of statistical analysis is to visualize your data. There's a few reasons for that. One is, even though everything might look formatted and neat and proper in your data frame with a first pass, it's really better to check visually because you probably have a lot more expectations of what your data is supposed to look like than you realize. Most of the times when we're doing analysis, we have some sort of expectation of what we're going to find, or at least what it should look like before we do any processing. So visualizing your data allows you to get a sense of what is actually going on there. Did I import the data properly? Has it been processed down to what I need it to be already? And things of that nature. You can then start to look at if that is all in check. Okay, well, look at this distribution and maybe I should run this kind of analysis because I'm knowing and learning that certain assumptions might be violated from one test to another. So with that in mind, guys, we're going to not do a lot of coding today. We're going to do a couple lines of code, but what we're going to learn is first we're going to get you up to speed on Jupyter Notebooks and Anaconda. We had a bit of a tutorial on this in chapter 1, so I'm going to not spend a lot of time on it, but do a little bit of a refresher to make sure you load it up and it's all looking good. Next, we're going to play around with Matplotlib, which is our plotting package in Python, and we're going to look at defining histograms and at least looking at one type of histogram for now. Okay, so what are we talking about with our definitions? First off, what is a histogram? I mean, a histogram is really just a graph, guys. It's a visual representation of data. So sometimes you'll hear that bar graphs are histograms, but scatter plots aren't, or something to that effect. There's a little bit of miscommunication and misnomer around that. All graphs that are showing data are essentially histograms, okay? So don't let people confuse you with that. Anaconda is a package that it's a package manager that builds Python virtual machines so that you can have specific libraries in there. It integrates with other packages that allow you to plug into your GPU and do parallelization, which is not something that is really easy to do in Python out of the box. So it's a really nice way to just manage your code, your packages, and it will also render Jupyter Notebooks for you. And Jupyter Notebooks are basically just a browser where you can run Python code, and it's really easy to rerun code, see how it's going, visualize it, and also kind of show people block by block what your code is trying to do. So it's rendered in a browser, but it's local. It's not like in a website somewhere. You're just kind of using your browser's technology to have it run and produce Python code. And lastly, we're going to talk about Matplotlib, which is our plotting package in Python. And that's going to be where a lot of our coding is going to be involved in with this set of chapters. It's like managing Matplotlib and dealing with that. So why don't we hop into syntax now, guys? What we want to do is we're going to, rather than looking at the syntax of the code I'm going to show you, because it's not really that difficult, instead I'm going to show you the syntax of a graph, so we have common language around that. So here is a very, very simple scatter plot with 3 points. We have a point at 3, a point at 2, 5, and a point at 3, 6, it's 7. Okay. So what you're seeing here first is what I just wrote out are Cartesian coordinates. When we do Cartesian coordinates, our first value is x, and our second value is y. So you see here, boop, 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 that indeed goes to 2, and this is 3 here, okay? So this is a scatter point in a scatter plot, okay? You also notice that I said I called this x and this y. So what's going on here is our horizontal line here is what is called our x-axis. We typically assign independent variables to our x-axis. You'll notice that this x-axis goes from 0 all the way to 3. The vertical axis is often called our y-axis. Okay, and this is usually where we place our dependent variable because it just kind of makes sense it's intuitive that we would expect that, you make a change from left to right, you want to see that change go up or down. So it's just, you don't need to have your dependent variable on the y-axis, but it's just kind of common things that we do in statistics, so it'll be easier for other people to understand your graph if you do it that way. Okay, so the next thing you're going to see here are these little notches here. We can manipulate how many notches exist in our plot using Matplotlib, but these are called ticks, okay? So basically they're just ways to visually represent where certain values are within your x or y axis, okay? So these are the amount of ticks that we have for some data. Lastly, you usually have labels on the left and the right. We don't have them here, but you'd have your y-axis label kind of running horizontally and your x-axis label at the bottom. So we have labels at the left and bottom. We can also sometimes have a title label, and all of these are actually parameters that you can adjust in Matplotlib. And one thing that isn't on here, because we don't have this kind of data, let's say we have, dots and X's, crosses or something. And we can even color those crosses in a different color, but let's say we're producing this scatter plot is showing multiple types of information. We'd also have something called a legend, which would tell us, X's are this thing and dots represent something else, okay? So this is called a legend. That's basically the syntax of a graph, guys. One thing I'm going to want to show you otherwise is that when we do something called a linear regression, remember that test we did in the last tutorial, what that is trying to do is it's trying to create a line that goes in between all scatter points evenly, okay? So what we're going to do in later sections is not only figure out what the linear regression equation is, what the value is, but also plot this potentially. Okay guys, so with that, let's now exit this and check out Jupyter Notebooks, okay? And so we're going to first go to Anaconda. I'm going to pull up a browser, and remember, if you haven't downloaded Anaconda yet, please go to anaconda.com and download this package manager. It's really easy. You download it just like anything else, install it onto your system. You can use it for Mac, Windows, or Linux. And then once you have that downloaded, open it up. So I'm going to click My Anaconda right now, and we're going to go through what all this means, what we need to do in order to boot up a Jupyter Notebook from Anaconda. So we're just going to give this a quick second to load. Okay, so what you're seeing here, this is your home directory. You have a bunch of environments that you've already built ahead of time. You start with a basic default environment, but how this works is if you want to create an environment, each environment is going to have different sets of packages in it. So you might want your your environment to have visualization, but maybe your environment and something else to not have that. So all of your packages are seen here. If you don't have something installed, you can check it here, and we can search maybe Matplotlib. No, we do have Matplotlib. If we go to install, it is definitely there. If it's not installed, try and install it from here, okay guys? And once you've installed it, go back to home. Make sure that you can create your own new environment if you want. I'm just staying in base root, but if you want to create an environment, go for it there. And once you're back to home, select the environment that you want all of your packages to load into, and then you're going to click this launch button for Jupyter Notebooks, okay? So we're going to click that. You might see a terminal pop up on your screen. That's totally normal. It's rendering your Jupyter Notebook folder set up. So I'm just going to show it to you here. This is what popped up after we clicked that Jupyter Notebook button. It launched our Jupyter. So what I'm going to do is, this looks like it's on a website, but see what it's saying here, saying localhost at some number. That means that it's actually not live on the internet. People can't access it. This is just being rendered on your machine, so don't worry too much about that, okay? So first off, we're going to create a Jupyter Notebook that you're going to follow along with, but go into your desktop, go into where your Udemy Python scripts folder is from previous. I'm going to go here, and I just have this one called Untitled that I've been building off of, okay? So here we have our set of code that we're going to be working with today. So first off, you'll see that we have this graph here. This is how this graph was created. You're going to notice when we start a new, if we start a new notebook, I'm going to show you let me actually just show you here. First, if we want to create a new notebook, you go new, Python 3, and it'll create a blank page for you here. You can write your code like I was showing you before, and if you want to run your code, you then press Control Enter. So I'm going to just print hello world here. Hello. And look at that. It'll end up actually printing in the standard output just below the block. You can also create new blocks above and below and run each set of code one at a time. So that's what I did with this. This is how I created this graph. So the first thing we do in order to create a graph in Python is that we first have to import Matplotlib. So we're saying I want the pyplot features in Matplotlib, and I'm going to call that extension plot. So make sure you import Matplotlib in this pyplot specifically. I then created some dummy data. I just created two lists, X and Y. Notice how I said X and Y in this case. You can also call them independent or dependent variables. You'll notice that in statistics that we often use these words interchangeably, okay? So in this case, just for simplicity, I'm putting X and Y. Next, what we do is we start to create plot objects. So what I'm doing here is I'm saying, plot, I want to create a figure that can have more than one plot in there. It can have just one plot or more than one. And what plot.subplots does is it creates two objects. It creates a figure container, which is going to house our visualizations, and an axis object. The axis object has all the parameters that the figure container needs in order to render a plot, okay? So what that means is the figure is going to create the window, and the axis, or the ax variable here, is going to tell what to put in the window later, okay? So as you see here, we say in the axis we want to plot, use the .plot function, and if we looked at the help commands, it says that first parameter is X, second parameter is Y, okay? So I happen to just label these X and Y already as a global parameter. So we then say to Python, okay, axis, we want this plot to be an X and Y scatter plot. And then once that is done, we just say, show the plot, okay? So I'm gonna just block that out and you'll see what happens. Nothing is rendered, it just says, oh, it created an object here from this .plotting. But once I remove that, you'll see that the plot is there, and actually in this case it's just creating a line because I've asked it to just plot a line like that. I think if I go scatter, there you go. If I did scatter, it is just going to give us a scatter plot there. Okay, so axis has a couple of different functions, as you now have realized, but that's basically all I really wanted to show you guys with this section. I wanted to introduce some terminology to you, give you the syntax of a graph and how to approach it, as well as just show you how to create a graph from a Jupyter notebook. So why don't we recap now? Okay guys, so what did we learn today? First, we installed Matplotlib. We reminded ourselves what Anaconda and Jupyter notebooks are all about. I showed you how the syntax of a plot of a graph, talking about what ticks are and what y and x-axes represent, what you should expect from your graphs, and we built our first scatter plot, which was an example from the syntax.